Some of the new techniques that we're using in today's kitchens is a method called sous vide, which requires a vacuum sealer, and it also is submersed in water for a long period of time, usually cooking proteins for a very specific temperature. Also, liquid nitrogen is another techniques that we use to freeze fry certain foams, certain liquids, actually creating a very crispy texture, but using extreme cold temperatures are two techniques that we find in today's kitchens. Why do you add salt when you bake? Generally it's for a flavor enhancement, when there's a chemical reaction that happens in the baking process that requires salt to enhance that product. A cake generally can rise without the presence of yeast from the chemical process between sugar and the natural starch found in flour. And also if you use eggs in your cake mix as well, as eggs bake, they create an elevation process as well. Spaghetti can stick to the wall after it's cooked, just pretty much based on the starch. As the process of when that cooks, the starch content is released, creating the stickiness to any type of pasta. The process of marination is pretty much to create tenderness. Generally, there's some type of an acid or an alkaline that's introduced within the marinade. And the process is to break down the natural fibers and the natural proteins, generally within the meat and or fish. That process causes the meat to break down and creates a more tender product. It's been a while since I've made carnitas, but you know, anytime that you add milk to anything, it's kind of the same process as the marination. The milk has a natural chemical effect because of the high level of acid within the milk, and it denatures the protein in the carnitas or anything that you add milk to will denature and break down the protein. No, you can't have $40. When you mix ingredients, you know, I mean, the combination, anytime that you combine more than one ingredient together, most food is still technically a living organism, and when you combine more than one ingredient together, there's always going to be some type of chemical reaction, even if there's no heat that's added to the mix. There can be chemical reactions between acids, bitters, and salts and sugars. Those actual ingredients react differently to one another. With the application of heat, there's definitely a change, whether it's from liquid or from solid to liquid. Anytime that you incorporate heat to an element, you're also changing it chemically. When you caramelize sugar, there's definitely a chemical reaction that takes place. The process takes a solid and turns it into a liquid. The caramelization effect requires an immense amount of heat in a very short period of time. So I guess that would be your chemical reaction. We'll retake that. When these senses affect how we taste food, all five senses, sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch, are all components to how we taste and enjoy food, from the way that it looks, from the mouthfeel and how it feels on your palate when you taste something crunchy or soft or silky, to the way that your inner ear works as you taste food as well. All have a direct impact on how food can taste, good or bad. The browning effect is basically the process in which an amino acid changes into a caramelized protein by the addition of heat placed generally in proteins. The amino acids actually completely change and create that brown, crunchy, crisp, caramelized texture on the outside of a protein, which generally is perceived as good grilling technique or good searing or pan